Hello, my friend, and welcome. Today we're diving into The Dip by Seth Godin. Seth is an entrepreneur, best-selling author, and speaker. This book explores the hardship and struggle that happens on the path to achieving anything great. It teaches you strategic decision making so you have a better clue when to push through for big success or wisely quit to invest your energy elsewhere. The dip is great for professionals, business leaders, and problem solvers. So, what if quitting the wrong thing is the key to succeeding at the right thing? And are you seeking out challenges that are worth overcoming? This book gives some interesting answers to these important questions. Let's dive in. This book opens when Seth mentions that in a free market, the best are rewarded far more than others. Top producers usually get the greatest perks. In today's world, the number of choices available to us is constantly expanding. This means that for almost anything, from what you eat to what career you pick, there are so many options. So, how do individuals or businesses stand out? On a similar note, why do you hire a specialist like a doctor? Because we trust that they have overcome significant challenges to gain their expertise and become the best. This brings us to a crucial concept in the book, the dip. Seth introduces three major curves that you'll encounter in life: the dip, the cul-de-sac, and the cliff. Understanding which curve you're on is crucial for deciding when to persevere or when to quit. Let's first look at the dip. The dip represents the long journey between starting something new and achieving mastery. At the beginning, when you first start something, it's fun, but eventually fun fades as you are challenged. Progress slows, the work gets harder and possibly overwhelming. The dopamine hits you got at the beginning stop coming so often. Navigating the dip is tough, but it's actually a shortcut to becoming excellent as it filters out the majority who quit. Consider the path to becoming a doctor. It requires years of demanding medical school. This tough process is the dip, weeding out those who aren't serious or capable. The people who succeed at becoming doctors enjoy the rewards of job security and great salaries. In contrast to the challenging but potentially rewarding dip, Godin describes the cul-de-sac. This is a dead end, a situation where things never become terrible enough to force you out, but also never get particularly good. You can pour in energy and effort indefinitely, like being in a job with no path for promotion or learning opportunities, but you'll never make significant progress or achieve excellence in this lane. The cul-de-sac is often a place where you were never particularly good to begin with and are unlikely to excel. Finally, there's the cliff. The cliff is a cul-de-sac that ends badly. It's a path that feels rewarding for a time but ends in a sudden, sharp collapse. An example is a gambling addiction. My personal downfall was sports betting on basketball. I've been playing basketball since I was 7 years old, so I thought I understood the game. However, Vegas understood it better and I lost lots of money and time. The consequences of the cliff are delayed, making it hard to recognize the danger until it's too late to quit without major loss. Seth presents a concept called Zipf's law. Consider something as simple as ice cream flavors. Vanilla is the most favored by a long shot, dwarfing the sales of chocolate, strawberry, and other options. Zipf's law says a small number of items or individuals account for a large amount of the demand or success, while the majority experience much less. This pattern isn't limited to ice cream. It can be seen across numerous fields, from the popularity of books and songs to the success of professional careers. There's massive demand for a few at the top, average interest for the rest. While people enjoy trying new things, choosing the perceived best or number one is usually the safest and least risky option. In the context of the book, being number one grants access to greater opportunities and rewards than being just good enough. If you can beat the dip, then you can become the vanilla ice cream of your field. The world today often feels smaller, not just due to technology, but because categories and markets are getting more specialized. This increasing specialization prompts a decision for businesses and individuals. Do you try to compete broadly in the vast ocean? Or do you aim to be a big fish in a small pond, focusing on a specialized micro market? Your answer determines how you position yourself in a market and how you present yourself to the world. It also underscores the need to strategically quit projects that don't match your positioning goals. Strategic quitting isn't about giving up, it's a decision to exit areas that don't align with your strengths or vision, allowing you to allocate resources to where you can thrive. A powerful example is the transformation of General Electric under the leadership of Jack Welch. He turned General Electric from a traditional manufacturing company into a global leader in various industries. General Electric makes engines, renewable energy products, and global medical technology. In 1981, as the U.S. economy entered a recession, Welch faced the challenge of leading a large company of around 400,000 employees. He presented a vision of growing fast in a slow growth economy. The title of the speech he gave to introduce a new approach. Some things needed quitting for GE to move forward, so Welch fired unproductive managers and eliminated whole divisions. These were tough decisions, but quitting these pieces was necessary to elevate the company. Welch championed the idea that GE should lead an industry or leave it. To be number one was his goal, and the goal of the whole organization. The lesson from GE's transformation under Welch is it takes guts to quit at the right time. Courage is needed to let go of what isn't working to allow for growth elsewhere. Persevering through the challenging dip means being willing to change tactics that don't work while keeping your big vision top of mind. Google is known for its moonshot thinking. It involves tackling ambitious, seemingly impossible problems with new solutions. Google also has a goal to dominate the markets they're in. When big projects succeed, Google allocates more resources to sustain and grow them. This means they have to quit some stuff if it doesn't fit their vision, goals, or expectation of success. Some of the most notable discontinued projects include the popular social media site Google+, the cloud gaming service Google Stadia, and the ambitious hardware project Google Glass. The truth is, there's always a strategy and research behind dumping something. For example, the company cited low user engagement for Google Plus as a major reason to shut it down. Stadia faced fierce competition and struggled to be adopted. Google Glass was an innovative idea, but the product got much criticism. The bulk of Google's talent and resources goes to big projects that can make the most impact, like how they endured the dip to become the world's top search engine. Maybe you can learn something from how Google strategically quits projects that don't lead to market dominance. Also, it's a golden skill to detect whether you're in a dip or a dead end, and to take the action necessary to capitalize on your best opportunities. Michael Jordan is one of the greatest basketball players to play the game. To get to the top, he had a relentless work ethic and a strategic focus to conquer the dip. Famously, he was demoted to junior varsity in high school. Jordan used this rejection as fuel. He responded by practicing more often. He would wake up early in the morning each day to train in the school gym before class. He pushed himself to constantly improve, prioritizing basketball over social life. His work paid off as he excelled in college and got drafted to the NBA. Thousands of grueling hours of training were required to be in the NBA. Jordan played 11 seasons before stepping away from basketball to pursue a lifelong dream of professional baseball. Things were going all right until some heated disagreements with management. It was at this point that MJ realized professional baseball and everything else that came with it wasn't a dip worth conquering for him. He came back to basketball more dialed in. This singular focus on basketball led him to win 3 more NBA championships in his return. At the height of his career, Jordan faced physical and mental obstacles. He had to lift heavier weights, build his confidence, and study the game harder than ever. On top of that, he dealt with intense public critics, often using their doubts to fuel his competitive fire. Jordan's pursuit of mastery offers a powerful lesson: the importance of not just enduring challenges, but transforming them into fuel for your ambition. Also, commitment to your craft and strong work ethic are invaluable to becoming the best. Find the court you can dominate in. A woodpecker can tap 20 times on 1,000 trees and get nowhere, but stay busy. Or he can tap 20,000 times on one tree and get dinner. Seth Godin. This quote teaches the value of focused perseverance through the dip versus broad, unfocused effort. The woodpecker taps on many trees but doesn't go deep enough to find food. It stays busy, giving the appearance of working hard, but accomplishes nothing major towards its goal. On the other hand, tapping 20,000 times on one tree represents committing to a single, well chosen endeavor and putting in sustained effort. This effort allows the woodpecker to break through the surface and find dinner, which is like achieving mastery, receiving the sweet reward after beating the dip. By focusing on one area and getting through the dip, you become one of the few to master that skill or market. Therefore, you must identify the high potential tree, the worthwhile dip, and quit the others, cul-de-sacs and cliffs, to make the most of your taps. The author introduces 8 common dips that may affect you in life and business. They are risk. Smart entrepreneurs understand the difference between investing time and money into a worthwhile dip versus investing in a risky crapshoot. Relationship. The path to fulfilling beneficial relationships is through the dip of spending quality time, supporting each other, and more. Conceptual. Becoming aware of what you don't already know is overcoming a conceptual dip. Manufacturing. The time, effort, and cost of ramping up your production is the dip. Sales. The challenging journey of going from solo to an elite sales force in any business. Education. The time, effort, sacrifices, and money it takes to learn new skills is the dip. Ego. Go from self centered and all about you to thriving with a team. The work you have to do on yourself to be humble, emotionally intelligent, caring, and selfless is the dip. Distribution. Some retailers make it easy for you to get distribution, and some require an investment from you. It's easy to make an Instagram account and start selling your products, but to have a popular chain grocery store sell your products on their shelves, you have to go through a distribution dip. Be aware of these dips. Develop a resilient mindset to overcome the dips you face. The author finishes the book by presenting 3 simple questions you can ask yourself before quitting anything. As Godin says, quitting isn't a sign of failure. and quitting is necessary to focus on the projects with the most potential on the dip where you have a shot to be the best. These questions are: am I panicking? Who am I trying to influence? And what sort of measurable progress am I making? These questions are super helpful because, number one, you never want to quit in a worried emotional state without a plan reacting to discomfort. Number two, it is helpful to get clarity on your purpose and who you're serving. Remember, you can switch your tactic without changing your mission. And finally, number three, it's important to celebrate small wins and progress made, especially on a dip worth conquering. That gives you confidence to face new challenges. These questions serve as a compass. They can guide you through moments of doubt and help you make strategic decisions about when to persist or when to pivot towards a better opportunity. Thank you for watching. I hope you got some value. Like and subscribe if you found the video to be helpful. Consider reading The Dip if you want to improve your problem solving, strategic thinking, and decision making skills.